Apex fight wear, tail of the tape. Both men 25 years of age. Just an inch taller is the challenger, Jordan Vucenic. 7-1-0 is the record for the challenger, the champion bringing in the veteran record of 16-7-1. The vast majority of those losses, though, coming very early in Morgan Charrière's career. He's been on the tear of late, and of course, those 12 finishes, that's the key statistic here. So for one last time, ladies and gentlemen, let's throw it to our MC in the cage, Mr. Hal Chaplin, to get this featherweight title bout underway.
Okay, gents, you understand the rules. You fight under list to me. Keep yourself protected at all times. When I say start, you start. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. God bless.
Final instructions from the best in the business, referee Mark Goddard. 5 5-minute rounds for the big gold belt, the featherweight Cage Warriors title. The challenger, Jordan Vucenic, in the black camo print. The champion, the last pirate, Morgan Charrière, in the white. One of the most hotly anticipated Cage Warriors title fights in years about to get underway here in York Hall. Brad Morton, Dan Strauss and Dan Hardy privileged to call the action here, and a tentative start from these two young strikers.
Exactly what I would expect, especially from Vucenic. You can see that traditional Muay Thai style, the whip in his low kicks and the teep to the midsection. All a part of the feeling out process to see what his opponent is going to bite on, what his reactions are, you know, what his counters are that are set up ready for this fight. This is all a smoking out process. This is Vucenic trying to figure out what Charrière wants to do in this fight. And at the moment, it looks like Charrière trying to keep his cool before he starts throwing heavy hands at his opponent.
Nice right hand there early on from Charrière. Of course, both men just 25 years of age, but vast experience advantage for the Frenchman here. Really has cut his teeth early in the game, and of course travelled quite a lot as well with full MMA rules fights not being legal in France. He's had to travel, he's had to go overseas. He's fought in Scandinavia, of course he's fought here in the UK and elsewhere in Europe. Oh, nice right hand by Vucenic there.
The defense of Vucenic is something that often goes underappreciated, especially in some of the fights that he's had against, you know, tough individuals like Paul Hughes. He's very much fighting out. Oh, that was lovely. A switch stance right, left hook. Caught Morgan Charrière off guard there. Now Charrière starting to uncork some power.
Yeah, that tentative start may have just gone right out the window.
You can see how conscious Vucenic is of his defense, though. You know, hands are high on his toes as well, which allows him to move in and out of range very quickly.
Of course, he knows he's going to have to watch out for the body shots too after that insane one shot that dropped Perry Goodwin for Morgan Charrière to capture the title.
And that was a long-range body shot as well. I mean, that was a Stipe DC kind of body shot. Dug it right into the liver and dropped him against the fence. Level change from Vucenic, maybe just to alleviate some pressure.
First takedown attempt of the fight for Vucenic there. He's talked during the week about the fact that he comes from a town where you're good at one of two things, fighting or running away, and he does not own a pair of running shoes. Big left hand for Vucenic there.
Vucenic's striking is looking excellent, and I'm surprised actually that Charrière is giving him the space to test some of these combinations in the early round.
Perhaps fair to say, Dan, that Charrière's got the more stopping power of the two.
Oh, absolutely he has. But you know, the volume at which Vucenic's landing at the moment, you know, it's a steady trickle, but things are getting through. And shots like that elbow as well in the clinch, they're the kind of things that have an impact immediately and last throughout the fight, especially if you can cut your opponent. Now he's into some takedown defense, and you can see the strength of Charrière here. As he clinches his opponent, you see his lats flaring and spreading that tattoo across his back, making the face look a bit wider. He's got some muscle mass on his upper back and his legs as well. You can imagine how strong he is in this position.
Yeah, not much going on here. Marc Goddard having a good look. Might separate them if need be.
What are your thoughts on Charrière's head position here? He doesn't seem to be using it to really dominate this position too much.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's too aggressively working for anything, and that is exactly what Marc Goddard is looking at. You can see, I think, maybe Charrière just looking to drain his opponent a little bit, take some of that speed out of him. It looks like he's, I can't quite see it, looks like he's controlling the wrist. Usually you look at something like this and you're thinking, is he setting up a flying triangle? But
I don't think so.
That might just be, yeah, I don't think so, but it might just be wishful thinking on my behalf.
Yeah, good wrist control there. So strong in this position, but Vucenic's doing a good job. Palm under the chin, really trying to drive his head away, making it uncomfortable for Charrière to pull himself close to his opponent.
Yeah, he's also found himself in a double underhook position off of it. He goes for a throw here. Charrière doing a good job of staying belly down there and not getting put on his back.
Vucenic is a guy who's, you know, really cut his teeth against a lot of more experienced guys. He fought Panicus Yusuf in one of his first MMA fights, and Panicus, of course, a very well-traveled and experienced Thai boxer.
Yeah, Morgan straight away looking to get this takedown. A good position here, hands around the legs. Jordan doing a good job of trying to get that leg out, just manages to in time. Morgan has that single leg, but he can use the high crotch here. If he wants to elevate Jordan off the ground, he is not in a bad position to do it if he can get his hips underneath. Jordan looks at me and goes, no, there's no way it's happening.
Charrière's got to get his hips closer to his opponent, right, to elevate here. I mean, I know he's a strong individual, but he'd be relying on a lot of back muscle to lift from here.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, not something you want to do when you've got a 5-round fight ahead of you. You know, Jordan doing a very good job. He's using his left hand to underhook here, and he just looks so comfortable and relaxed in this position.
Good work by Charrière setting up with strikes, though. He threw a double jab cross before he level changed, which opened up this opportunity to get close to the legs. One thing we've seen from Vucenic, though, he's got great hustle against the fence with his takedown defense.
Yeah, well, you saw it early on there. You know, Morgan did a fantastic job of getting both his hands connected very low down on the legs of Jordan, and Jordan, as Morgan tried to commit to that finish of the takedown, Jordan managed to pull one leg out, and now he's found himself in a much more stable position here, looking pretty good. And he's managed to, now he's finding that grip. Morgan looking to try and get those hands. They're right in front of us here. I think Jordan paying lots of attention to what's going on in the commentary booth.
And one of the benefits of not having a crowd is you do get to hear some interesting stuff. I guess that counts for both those guys inside the cage too. You know, interesting to know, I did just hear the corner of Jordan Vucenic a few moments ago say he'll get tired here. You know, perhaps they're happy to just spend a little bit of time back to the fence, forcing Charrière to try and wrestle as much as possible here, carrying a lot of muscle on that frame, and you know that takes oxygen, and the more this goes on, the more this grinding style plays out, those arms and shoulders are going to start to get tired.
Well, Jordan looking very strong there, bullying his man around, almost gets a throw there, but that whizzer coming into huge benefit. A lovely body lock here. It's so nasty when you can pull that lower back in, and what it does, it freezes your whole spine and picks him up, slams him to the ground. Fantastic takedown there. Immediately looks to pass guard, and Morgan seeing a little bit of space and using that to get back to his feet, but very impressive. Jordan looking very, very strong there in the clinch.
First successful takedown of the fight there for Morgan, for Jordan Vucenic rather, but Morgan Charrière able to pop right back to his feet.
And I'm sure at some point in the fight, Vucenic was expecting Charrière to try and clinch him up against the fence, but it might be doing something for his confidence, especially the way he was reacting to us in the commentary booth and, you know, looking down the camera lens, etc. I think he feels like Charrière wants nothing to do with his striking, but he can't take his eyes off the prize because it only takes one shot from Charrière to really change the look of this fight.
Morgan Charrière does have experience in a 5-round fight. He did go the distance with Soren Bak a few years ago, and for my money, he did his best work in that fight in the championship rounds.
That was nice, little stagger step there behind the feint double jab to try and land the right. Charrière was wise to it. That was a good left hook from Charrière, and a nice jab to follow. It's like His confidence is now on the rise a little since there's nothing coming back from Vucenic in the last couple of minutes.
And again with the left hand by Morgan Charrière, the last pirate, looking to put a stamp on this fight now in the second round. Vucenic's going to find a way back in, gets countered there.
Good head movement there from Charrière, moving away from those punches. Vucenic's got to be careful he's not overextending himself and leaving himself vulnerable to a counter strike.
That was a solid shot with the right hand from Vucenic there. The challenger giving as good as he gets in this one.
Very difficult to read that jab of Charrière, especially given the fact that he keeps his lead hand very close to his shoulder. There's no drawback before he fires the punch. Oh, again, head movement from Charrière.
Yeah, doing a great job defensively here as well. Is the champion showing that championship caliber. Wild shots from Vucenic there. And Vucenic just knocked off balance. Maybe an errant knee to the head going down there as well. We are ready to go with our third of 5 rounds here. Cage Warriors featherweight title on the line. The champion Morgan Charrière, the challenger Jordan the Epidemic Vucenic. And it's been a very intriguing clash so far.
Nice snapping double right hand there from Vucenic. Threw the right hand and it missed, so he fired it out a second time and landed. A little bit like Andrei Arlovski did on Travis Brown. Good head position there. You can just see how strong Charrière is, though, driving his opponent to the fence. And now, obviously, we're 2 rounds into the fight. There's less onus to maintain some of that cardio for the later rounds because we're getting there now.
As we expected in terms of strike stats, the volume has been all Vucenic. 102 so far against 70 thrown from Morgan Charrière. Landed 38 of those 2. Charrière perhaps though landed the more impactful individual shots. Certainly pretty even, I would imagine, striking wise in the judges' eyes at this time.
Vucenic doing a good job of posting on his opponent, trying to create some space with that forearm. You can hear Danny Batten in the corner, former Cage Warriors champ, calling for a knee.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Jordan wants to get away from this clinch position. If he sees the opportunity and he feels like it's right to do so, I expect to see him circle Morgan onto the cage and try and disengage. But Morgan really putting his hips behind this clinch position. And you can see all of his force, all of his power is directed at pinning his opponent up against the fence.
Disengage.
Morgan, over there.
And I believe there's an issue with the cut perhaps there. Or maybe a low blow, perhaps. Well, we might get to see a little bit of replay on that to find out exactly what happened there. Should this one reach the end of the round, regardless, we're good to go.
You can see that Vucenic wanted to keep this fight moving, though. I think maybe he's questioning the conditioning of Charrière by comparison. I mean, he looks fresh. But he's doing a lot of pinning him up against the fence. There's a lot of static contracting, which can be very draining. That was a lovely right hand as well.
Beautiful shot from the challenger there.
Very fast hands as well. Oh, that was nice. Missed right hand with a back fist to follow. See how he's double flicking the right arm. Really nice. Even saw Canelo do that against Yildirim as well.
There's a lot to like visually about the challenger's style, and the same can be said for Charrière too. One man who's going to be watching this contest very closely is Paul Hughes. Got to believe he's assuming he'll be fighting the winner of this one, whoever that may be. And I know he wants to get his hands on Vucenic again. More than happy to watch that one over 5 rounds.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that might be the only way of separating those guys. That was a lovely right-hand setup from Charrière for the level change, but he took a cuffing left hook from Vucenic in the process, who's now trying to heal his head up from his legs.
Yeah. Jordan again doing a great job of getting his arms underneath and raising the upper body level of his opponent to stop him from being able to take those legs from underneath him.
How does Charrière break this stalemate that he's finding himself in here?
It's very, very difficult, you know. The question is, does he want to? You know, in the grappling, a lot of the clinch positions that he's found himself in, it doesn't actually look like he's that eager in going for a takedown. He's not hitting these takedowns very, very aggressively. Could it be that he's being patient, or could it be that he feels like controlling his man up against the fence is actually going to be something that is going to be seen favorably on the judges' scorecard? I'm not sure exactly, but this is what you expect to see. If someone's really aggressively trying to go for a takedown, don't expect them to see them standing up and trading. Expect to see them dropping down, trying to use their legs to hook their opponent's legs away, doing stuff like this. There we go. Now there's a takedown from that back clinch position, and a very strong position. Jordan needs to be careful. If he turns away here, Morgan can immediately jump onto the back and sink the hooks in from here. Doesn't look like he's too interested. A little bit more interested in throwing from strikes from that turtle position, but Jordan doing a good job of getting to his feet for now, and very nicely done.
The champ pops up. Vucenic ends around with a body kick. We might see some more leg kicks from the champion as this one goes on. He seems to be happy with the success with his fists at the moment.
I think part of the reason why he's not investing so much on low kicks is because he's getting stung with punches in the process. And you know, and same thing for Vucenic. He's not throwing so many low kicks because that's going to put him on one leg, but against someone that's got a really powerful drive to the fence. Oh, that was a nice left hook from Charrière that caught Vucenic in the eye with the knuckle. Beautiful sprawl there from Charrière, driven to the fence and shucks him off, takes top position.
Yeah, definitely a shot of desperation there to try and clinch up and take this fight to the ground. Charrière finds himself in a pretty good position here. See if he can make anything of it. Jordan manages to get back to his feet quite nicely. Of course, Jordan engaged in this clinch. It's going to be interesting to see if Morgan wants to continue, which he obviously does. Exactly the same takedown. He goes to that back clinch, he gets the momentum going in one direction, then he raises it up, and because you've got the momentum going in one direction, the legs swing out from underneath you, and you can be dropped down onto your back, and he's done it. Jordan escaping this very similar to how he did before, which is turning to the turtle position. What Morgan didn't do last time is he didn't try and take the back. It's going to be interesting to see now if he decides to go that route, because Jordan has very good defensive wrestling. His ability to get to the feet is very good. But right now we're seeing Charrière with one hook on the back. If he can get a second hook in here, he finds himself in arguably the strongest position in all of grappling. And with 3.5 minutes on the clock, a very, plenty of time to try and work for a sub from him.
It almost looked to me like he was trying to set up an arm bar then on the left arm, and you can see Vucenic now driving himself towards the fence to make that really difficult for Charrière.
Well, that's the thing, you know, the position that Morgan finds himself in right now, he did find himself in. Jordan doing a really good job of trying to get to a top position from here. Even looked like he might be trying to tie up something on the neck. I can't quite see. Fantastically done by Vucenic. And he goes for his own takedown now. But yeah, for a second there, Morgan found himself on the side, and you can't quite work out what he's trying to do.
Got to watch his neck here if he's going to go for a lift. You see him abandon that single leg to favor the neck defense.
Yeah, well, he's doing a fantastic job, even if he's out of the position now. But what you can see, the right arm of Jordan is controlling the left arm of Jordan is controlling the right arm of Morgan, which means that even if he did get the guillotine position, he wouldn't be able to raise the elbow high enough to really do anything with it.
Both fighters currently good for 3 successful takedowns of 5 attempts each. This is a really evenly contested contest.
Yeah, the big difference with the takedowns, of course, from Morgan is he's kind of found the takedown that works. From him, just there you go, an opportunity presents itself. Jordan immediately getting his back to the fence, doing a very good job. What he wants to do is he wants Morgan's head as far away as possible from his upper body. Morgan wants to work up the body, Jordan wants to push him down the body. The further away from his upper body he is, the better the chance he is of being able to get back to his feet.
And now Charrière in his corner as well, so he's got the coaching of his team behind him.
Of course, one of the advantages of being in these behind closed doors events is you don't necessarily have to be right next to your own corner team, especially if you've got a loud cornerman like Chris Fields or someone who can pretty much be heard from any angle in the octagon.
Yeah, Morgan doing a good job of using his legs to try and create some connection with his lower body to his opponent's lower body. It takes away the ability to use the legs as effectively, move the hips and try and use the wall to walk back up, which is exactly what Jordan's thinking right now. Now, what I would be doing if I was Morgan is trying to change the angle, get Jordan's back off of the fence and put the side of his body on the fence instead to stop him from doing something like this. You know, it's a problem that you see in MMA all the time. That back's against the fence, it's very easy to get up because all you do, you drive all of your weight, or all of your power away from you, and you just end up on your feet.
That was good opportunistic movement there from Vucenic, getting back to his feet when he saw the opportunity. Charrière is adamant on keeping this range closed down, but the one thing he has to bear in mind is that, you know, all this this clinch work and this grappling, these takedowns, if he's not investing in strikes or submission attempts, this might not be working out too well for him on the scorecards. Whereas Vucenic's still chipping away when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And even earlier when, you know, they're definitely a lot more aggressive in the clinch in these last couple of rounds than the first few from Charrière. But even in the first couple of rounds where he wasn't doing much from the clinch, even though Jordan was pretty relaxed there, not worried too much, he was landing little strikes from all different angles the whole time.
Vucenic throwing a lot more than Charrière across the fight and connecting with almost double of the strikes he has thrown. And we head into the fifth and final round.
Only one more 5 minutes to go though. Something's got to happen, I think.
Fifth and final round. Jordan Vucenic looking to dethrone the featherweight king, Morgan Charrière. Charrière looking to defend his title for the very first time. And what a chess match this has been.
The other thing that's working out really well for Vucenic is that he's not leaving his head on the center line when he strikes. You know, he'll lunge him with one shot, but then immediately he removes his head from that center line, puts him in a different position, because oftentimes Charrière, he throws with power, but he also throws at the last place he saw his opponent's head. And Vucenic is doing a good job of changing that constantly, which is forcing Charrière to miss.
We could be potentially heading to the scorecards here for a very, very closely contested decision. And, you know, who's to say that a rematch may be in order? I mean, that's certainly going to give Cage Warriors matchmaker Ian Dean some sleepless nights figuring out what to do with this. But look, we've still got 4 minutes left on the clock for either Hughes or Charrière to put a big exclamation point on this one. And they are swinging.
Charrière landed a really clean right hand a little earlier. I wonder if he's surprised that he's hit his opponent a few times with clean, heavy shots, and Vucenic seems unfazed, because a lot of people collapse under those power.
Yeah, and even in the last round when it looked like he was hurt, it actually looked like he maybe caught something in the eye a little bit. He was touching his eye. It wasn't that he was rocked at all. You know, definitely got a very solid chin on him.
Another good left hook from Charrière there, sorry.
He's got the insides of his ears tattooed, so I think his tolerance for pain is beyond question.
I used to get told that if I was misbehaving, I'm going to tattoo your ears. It meant something very different in my house though. Stinging punches again, but Charrière was really well timed at getting out of the way of those. That counter right is causing him a few problems. Even when Vucenic is throwing it out and missing, he's whipping it back across the face of Charrière. And it's not hugely impactful, but it's certainly upsetting his balance and his timing. A good jab.
Nice right hand from Vucenic there. The exchanges are coming thick and fast here. Morgan with a piercing jab through the challenger's guard. He needs to put some big points on the board though, as the champion. Does not want to leave this in any doubt. Vucenic firing back though.
Heading towards the last 2 minutes here, and Charrière is kind of playing Vucenic's game a little. Great head movement though. A lot of those shots are now starting to miss from Vucenic. I wouldn't be surprised though if we see Charrière try and ground this fight one more time just to make a statement.
So many nice counters from both these guys. It did look like maybe Charrière was thinking about changing levels there, but thought better off it. Both men landing in that exchange. 90 seconds left on the clock here at London's iconic York Hall.
It's tense. I can feel the tension in this room. Last 90 seconds of a 5-round fight, and we still feel like anything could happen at this moment.
It's hard to believe that these guys have gone 5
Crazy.
rounds, considering how they're moving. It could be the first round.
Great conditioning and a lot of maturity in both of these guys' games, which expected really from Charrière, but surprising from Vucenic being under double figures in his pro career. Fights like he's had 200 Thai boxing matches as well.
Kid put together a solid match, and there's the body shot from Charrière. Morgan Charrière pouncing on that opening.
Body shot finds its target so well.
That's a big moment in this final round for the last Pirate. A nice right hand, and the champ perhaps coming alive here in the final minute.
That's 30 seconds. We're going to hear that 10-second clapper. I feel like one of these guys is going to really pull the trigger. It's probably going to be Charrière, because he's that kind of guy.
Nice jab from the champion. Vucenic standing strong, switching stances. Oh, for a nice right hand, there's the challenger. Charrière clinches up. Vucenic screaming at the champ. Charrière nonchalantly dips his head out of the way of that shot. Wow, what a title fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of mixed martial arts action, we go to our judges' scorecards. Judge Ben Cartley scored this contest 49-46 in favor of Charrière. Judge John Hand scored this contest 48-47 in favor of Vucenic. And Judge David Leatherby scored this contest 48-47 for your winner by way of split decision. And the new Cage Warriors featherweight world champion, Jordan the Epidemic Vucenic!
Incredible scenes here in London as Jordan the Epidemic Vucenic is the new Cage Warriors World Featherweight Champion. And you only need to take a look at that young man's face to see exactly